Understanding mortgage contingencies in New York City. Buying property in Manhattan can put a 10% deposit at risk if your financing falls through. A mortgage contingency allows you to cancel your purchase contract and recover your deposit if you cannot secure financing. This protection can save you tens of thousands of dollars if your loan is denied. However, the clause only applies if you meet strict deadlines and make a good faith effort to obtain financing. In New York City, the customary contract deposit is often 10% of the purchase price. Without a mortgage contingency, a buyer who cannot close may forfeit the entire deposit to the seller. New York does not require mortgage contingencies in real estate contracts. Whether to include one depends on negotiation, market conditions, and the buyer's financial position. Mortgage contingency periods are negotiable and vary by contract. In Manhattan, commitment dates are often around 30 to 45 days. You must obtain a written mortgage commitment that meets the contract's definition of a commitment by the stated deadline. If you miss the deadline without securing financing or requesting an extension, you may lose your right to cancel. A properly drafted clause must clearly define the loan amount, loan term, interest rate, lender type, and commitment deadline. Vague language can create disputes about whether you obtained adequate financing. Standard New York contracts define an institutional lender as banks, trust companies, credit unions, insurance companies, licensed mortgage bankers, and federal or state instrumentalities authorized to make mortgage loans. Pre-approval is only a preliminary assessment based on limited documentation. Pre-approval letters do not bind the lender to fund your loan. A mortgage commitment is a written commitment letter that satisfies the contract's definition of a commitment. Conditional approval falls between pre-approval and full commitment. New York courts have ruled that conditional approval does not satisfy mortgage contingency requirements. If you do not receive a mortgage commitment by the commitment date, many NYC contracts provide a short window to deliver written notice of cancellation. Your notice must follow the contract's specified procedure and clearly state that you applied in good faith but could not obtain the required commitment. If the deadline approaches without final approval, you can request an extension from the seller. If an extension is not granted and you want to preserve your deposit, you generally must send a timely cancellation notice. When you apply promptly, provide documentation, and cannot obtain a commitment through no fault of your own, you can cancel and recover your deposit. You may forfeit your deposit if you fail to make reasonable efforts to obtain financing or cause the denial through your own actions. Sellers can refuse to include a mortgage contingency, especially in competitive markets. Waiving the mortgage contingency creates significant financial risk because you may lose your entire deposit if financing falls through. A funding contingency is different from a mortgage contingency. A funding contingency protects you if your lender approves you but later refuses to fund the loan because of building-related issues. In many contracts, once a written commitment is issued, the mortgage contingency is considered satisfied even if the lender later refuses to fund. Sellers benefit from time limits that prevent a property from remaining off the market indefinitely. Missing a cancellation or notice deadline can mean you waived the mortgage contingency and must close without a loan or risk losing the deposit. Common mistakes include assuming pre-approval equals commitment, missing deadlines, failing to send written notice, and not requesting extensions when approval is delayed. Because NYC deposits are often substantial, even a one-day delay can have major financial consequences. A real estate attorney can insert favorable contingency language, monitor deadlines, and review commitment letters to ensure they meet contract requirements. The lawyer can also negotiate extensions or send proper cancellation notices to preserve your rights. Having the right attorney review your contract can make the difference between recovering your deposit and forfeiting it. If you are buying property in Manhattan, the right legal guidance helps ensure your mortgage contingency functions when you need it most. For guidance on protecting your deposit, contact Avenue Law Firm at 212-729-4090, located at 505 Park Avenue Suite 202, New York, New York, 10022, United States.